You ever have that one person in your life where it feels like you two are never on the same page? Like you tell them you like chocolate, but they always get you vanilla, or you two can never decide on what show you want to watch, or they just don't get your sense of humor, so every time you try to make a joke, it's really awkward. People can be very different sometimes, and this makes connecting with others hard. I've talked before about how as we're getting older, Gen Z is struggling with things like making new friends and starting relationships. Obviously, the simple solution is to just put yourself out there more and reach out to people. But things are often easier said than done. Every day, people are writing think pieces and posting TikToks about red flags or complaining about how fake all their friends are. And sure, some of these things are valid. Dealing with people you care about can cause a lot of stress sometimes. I've even seen people who prefer to talk to an AI instead of a real person because dealing with people is too complicated. Could you hit 4, please? Thanks. Hot one out there today, huh? Yeah, today is quite warm with a high of 88 degrees and a low of 56 degrees. Thanks for the report, weatherman. By the way, those are some nice shoes. I really like the color. Thank you. Shoes are essential for protecting one's feet as well as providing support for the spine and skeletal system. What? Wait, are you using ChatGPT to respond to me in real time? I think this is my floor. But whether it's friends, family, or someone you're dating, relationships are a two-way street. A few years ago, I learned about a concept called attachment styles, and they helped me identify some of my own behaviors that were affecting my relationships with people. I think that when you know how you and someone are different, it makes it easier to find the things you have in common. And that's why knowing your attachment style can be helpful for not only having healthy relationships, but starting new ones too. So if you've never heard of it, an attachment style is basically just the way you connect with other people. And there are 3 main ways to be attached to someone: anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, and secure attachment. A lot of people like to think they're pretty secure, but at least when it comes to Gen Z, not many people actually are. For example, anxious attachment. People with an anxious attachment style tend to have a negative view of themselves and a positive view of others. And this causes them to have fears of being abandoned by people in their lives. So anxiously attached people like to seek a lot of validation and reassurance from their loved ones. Being an anxiously attached person is constantly battling with the feeling of wanting to be close with other people, while also feeling like other people don't want to be close with you. The best part about an anxious attachment style is that I am one of these people myself. And sometimes it's hard to accept that you aren't as secure as you thought you were. I remember the first time I took a test, and when it said I was a 95% match for an anxious attachment style, I was like, nah, like this can't be right. I don't have a negative view of myself. I'm the GOAT. And I don't think all of my friends are gonna abandon me. But the thing about me is that I could be hanging out with my friends all day, and the moment someone says they're ready to go home, I immediately get sad. I could be tired and ready to go home myself. But in my head, I'm like, who knows when we'll see each other again? It could be a year or 10 years. What if this is our last time hanging out ever and we don't even know it? The thing about attachment styles is that on paper they seem simple, but in practice it can be hard to recognize your anxious attachment tendencies because they look different for everybody. It can even be something simple like that one friend who gets mad at you for not watching the 70 TikToks they send you every day. But another big thing with anxiously attached people is that they are very sensitive to changes in tone or mood. Sounds good. Thanks. Period. Do you hate me? What? No, why would you ask that? What kind of psycho ends a text message with a period? What? That's just proper grammar. Everyone knows that you end a text with LOL, LMAO, or a laughing emoji, so I know you're not serious. What are you talking about? It's just a period. Are you raising your voice at me? No, I'm not raising my voice. You're literally screaming at me right now. No, I'm not. Oh my God, you literally hate me. You literally hate me and you want me to die. No, that's not. And naturally, attachment styles aren't just about your friendships. In fact, I would say they're even more important when it comes to dating. And dealing with an anxiously attached partner can be a lot of work. And being anxiously attached in a relationship feels terrible. Hey, I'm back. Hey, where have you been all day? I was just hanging out with my friend Alex, just catching up. Alex is a gender neutral name. I can't tell if he was hanging out with a guy or another girl. Oh, I don't think I've ever heard you talk about Alex. Where do you know each other from? Oh, me and Alex go way back. We used to do everything together. I see. Alex must have played basketball with you too, huh? You know, on the men's team. Oh, nah, Alex wasn't really into sports. We met in English class, actually. Oh, okay. By the way, is Alex short for anything? Like, I don't know, Alexander? It's funny you say that, but Alex is just Alex. It's not short for anything, actually. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, that's unbelievable, actually. Oh, I gotta tell you about what we did at prom together, too. You know what? I got some errands to run. Have fun with Alex. Did I do something? A lot of times, anxious attachment styles are associated with women, and men are thought to be more avoidant. But there are plenty of anxious men out there too. But a lot of guys try to act nonchalant so they don't seem clingy. I know plenty of guys, when their girl is going out, they're like, bro, I'm chilling. I don't care what she doing for real. But he's up all night checking her location every 5 minutes. Anxiously attached men are just as common and can be equally as dramatic. Hey babe, I'm going out with the girls tonight. You sure you're gonna be okay? Babe, it's fine. I'm a real man. I'm not insecure. I trust you. You're the best. I'll text you once we're at the bar, okay? Love you. All right, later. Have fun, be safe. What am I gonna do? Why hasn't she called me yet? It's been 2 whole minutes. I bet her ex is there and she didn't even tell me. Sarah's probably convincing her to cheat on me right now. You know, I knew she never liked me. I mean, what kind of girl goes out without her boyfriend anyway? She probably already found someone else and forgot about me. I bet he's taller than me too. But I've been drinking so much that I'll call anyway and say, fuck. Hey babe, I'm back. Back already? I was enjoying some peace and quiet. Yeah, it was fun, but Sarah had way too much to drink, so we left the bar early and just chilled at her place. Classic Sarah. Gotta love her, right? How was your night? Had fun? Oh yeah, I just chilled. Definitely didn't have an emotional breakdown or anything like that. Having an anxious attachment style isn't easy. And even if you're aware that you aren't thinking rationally, sometimes you can't stop feeling the way you feel. So it's important that you set boundaries for yourself. And as an anxious person myself, this is hard. Everyone knows that it's not a good idea to get upset and go crazy on your partner just because they were slow to respond to a text or because they spent time with a friend. But I think one thing anxiously attached people tend to do is blame themselves for everything wrong in their relationships. Trust me, I know how it feels to be so desperate for someone's attention that you let them walk all over you and your feelings. To want things to work out with a person so badly that you let everything be your fault just to keep them happy. Every time you try to express yourself, it becomes an argument when you're the one being ignored, but somehow you're always the one who ends up apologizing. It's not always your fault. You're not always overreacting. Sometimes people do mistreat you. You probably wish that you didn't care so much, that you could just be like other people and just say, forget this person. It's tiring pretending to not care just to see if someone else does. But you're not wired that way, and that's okay. Sometimes others are quick to assume that all anxious people are clingy, selfish, and insecure. But anxiously attached people care a lot about their loved ones. They're just chronic overthinkers. So don't fill your head up telling yourself things like if they wanted to, they would, and try to work on actually telling your friends and partners what you need from them. If they do care, they'll at least try. And the biggest and hardest thing people with an anxious attachment style need to learn is how to give people space. When you and someone you care about aren't seeing eye to eye, you might be in a rush to want to fix things before they can abandon you forever. Sometimes people just need time to figure things out. And pressuring them to talk before they're ready isn't going to do either of you any good. And also, sometimes anxious people need space too, even though we're pretty bad at taking it for ourselves. Your instinct is to rush to patch things up with someone before they can walk out of your life, but sometimes you need to reflect on what went wrong so you can actually grow from it. So learn to take space for yourself too. You'll honestly feel a lot better when you do. The people in your life do care about you and value you. People really do notice when you go the extra mile for them, and hopefully they'll learn to let you know that. Just remember that if people aren't responding to you, it might not be because they hate you, but rather because you have a bad habit of texting people at 3 a.m. On the other end, you have people with an avoidant attachment style. Avoidant people are kind of the opposite of anxious people because they tend to have a positive view of themselves and a negative view of others. So while an anxious person likes to seek validation and closeness with others, an avoidant person prefers to avoid that. And sadly for me, many of the people in my life are avoidant. And an anxious person dealing with an avoidant person is a bad combo. Avoidants are people who need a lot of space, and if it's not given to them, they take it anyway. So trying to pull an avoidant person back into your life when they're pushing you away only makes them push even harder. I think that avoidant attachment styles are more commonly associated with men, since men are known to be more closed off and don't like talking about our feelings. Like many avoidant people, men tend to see emotions as a distraction and that they should be minimized as much as possible. They also like to feel independent as well, not needing to rely on others for emotional support or reassurance. Dealing with avoidance can be difficult because they don't like to express their emotions or talk about how they're feeling at all. I remember I liked a girl who was very avoidant a lot, but trying to talk to her sometimes was genuinely like talking to a rock. And this way of shutting people out can cause you to think that avoidant people don't care about you or that they're cold and heartless people. Avoidants get a lot of hate because many people have been hurt by avoidance in the past, including me. But many of them really are kind people and they do care a lot, but they don't always know how to deal with their own emotions, let alone other people's. So it's easier to just pretend that you don't feel them. A lot of times, the more an avoidant person likes you, the more they try to push you away because they're afraid of what someone might do when they're allowed to be vulnerable. A lot of men are avoidant because they're afraid that their vulnerability will be seen as weakness. They don't like talking about what bothers them because they're worried it could be used against them. And it's not only men, avoidant women are just as common. So how's things going with that guy you've been talking to? Honestly, they're great. He's the sweetest, kindest person I've ever met. He listens to me, he makes me feel safe, and I feel like I can just be myself around him. Wow, that's so good. So you really like him? Yeah, I do like him. Too much. Wait, what? He's everything I've ever wanted in a guy, but that makes me feel weak. So I haven't texted or called him back in 2 days. What? Why? I don't know. When we're apart, I miss him so much, but when we're together, I just feel like I need space. Well, don't you think you should reach out and talk to him if that's how you feel? Probably. But I think I'm gonna wait for him to quadruple text me first. Don't you think he'll be upset that you haven't spoken to him? I'll just tell him I've been busy. But really, I've just been distracting myself so I don't have to confront my emotions. You've got some serious issues. Yeah, my therapist said the same thing. Avoidant people need space. And honestly, you're entitled to that. Sometimes being around people and catering to their feelings can prevent you from focusing on your own. However, if you care about the people in your life, you should probably communicate when you're about to go ghost. In my experience, avoidant people have a tendency to just disappear. Everything will be going great between you two, and you feel like you're getting closer to this person, and then boom, they stop responding to you. And then a while later, they pop back up like nothing happened. This sucks. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people I see on social media who see no issue with this. The truth is that while you might feel like you want to disappear sometimes, there are still people in your life who care about you. And just going ghost can cause them to worry about your well-being or even your relationship with them. You don't need to give people your whole life story, but you're also not the only person in the world who goes through things. Just reaching out to let people know you need some time to yourself is something everyone can understand. It's easy to demonize avoidant people as cold and uncaring. And a lot of times, they've already told themselves the same thing. They know they're bad at reaching out, but after so long, they start thinking you don't like them anymore, so they shut you out even more. So unfortunately, when dealing with an avoidant person, you're probably gonna have to swallow your pride and do most of the reaching out yourself. Even if they're the one in the wrong and they want to apologize, you kind of have to be the one to leave the door open for them. And while an anxious person would sprint through the door, an avoidant person will wait for you to come drag them inside and lock the door behind them. One of the hardest things to do with an avoidant person is getting them to open up. They can be extremely guarded and even defensive, which can be frustrating to deal with. Yeah, he's great, but I just can't get him to open up and be vulnerable with me. He's so closed off sometimes. Yeah, guys can be like that. Has he ever opened up with you before? Not really, but there was this one time we got in a fight over something kind of petty. Yo, look, they got Goku cereal. I gotta cop these. Really? You're gonna spend extra money on cereal just because there's an anime character on it? Oh, yeah. I guess it is kind of silly, huh? Dang, that was kind of cold. Yeah, but I didn't realize it meant that much to him. I tried to apologize, but he kept telling me I didn't get it, but he wouldn't tell me why. It's just cereal. Well, I don't think it's about the cereal. Yeah, think about it this way. If you made him feel judged over something as petty as cereal, why would he feel comfortable coming to you about something more serious? Something more serial. Sorry. I guess you're right. I didn't really think about it that way. I gotta go make a trip. Later. Vulnerability is a privilege, and with some people, you have to work a little harder to earn it. Personally, I find it easy to share things about myself with other people, but others need to really make sure they can trust you before they open up. If you do something to make someone feel judged for being who they are, they might not feel comfortable sharing more about themselves. With avoidance, you have to earn the right to truly get to know them. Online, a lot of people like to paint anxious and avoidant people as two different ends of a spectrum, but I think they're more like two sides of the same coin. They both need a lot of reassurance that they matter to the people they care about. They just have different ways of going about it. An anxious person will cling to you, and an avoidant person will push you away. But this isn't to say that you should expect someone to put up with this forever, though. It can get exhausting constantly having to cater to an anxious person's expectations, or having to wait 3 business days for an avoidant person to text you back. You can do your best to accommodate other people, but you also deserve to have your emotional needs met too. People can only be patient for so long before they get tired of waiting. It sucks feeling like you're not allowed to be friends with people because your anxious boyfriend feels threatened by every single person you know. And it also sucks feeling pathetic because your avoidant girlfriend ignores you all day and doesn't like saying I love you to people. The goal is to keep working on yourself so that we can all work towards a more secure attachment style. Secure attachment is the best of both worlds. Securely attached people tend to not only have a positive view of themselves, but also others as well as their relationships. Secure people are comfortable with both closeness and independence, and rarely experience worries of being alone or not being accepted by others. A lot of people think of themselves as secure, but honestly, I don't think there's a such thing as being 100% secure. Everyone has some degree of avoidance or anxiousness. That's normal. But being secure is more about recognizing those tendencies and managing them as well as your expectations. And it's also about recognizing how other people become attached to you as well. Securely attached people aren't perfect and logical people. Oftentimes, logic isn't the best way to deal with relationships anyway. What secure people are good at, though, are boundaries. Not only setting them, but clearly communicating what they are. Secure people get anxious, or they can be avoidant at times too. But they know this about themselves and try to keep those habits in check. Relationships come with challenges, but by no means should they be difficult. So don't make them difficult. Communicate with people. Don't go ghost, but also be willing to give people space. Be understanding and forgiving to the people you care about, and give others a chance to get to know you. Know when you're getting attached too quickly and might need to take a step back, but also know when you're the one preventing yourself from forming deeper connections with people. I'm not a therapist or anything like that, but I just like sharing the things that I've learned in case it helps someone else. I think we all want better ways to connect with each other, so remember to put yourself out there and be patient. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, and thanks for 60K. Peace.